friends, Roger here, and welcome to my channel, Rogers Reads. So today, I'm doing a video quite a bit different than the kind that I usually do, in that I want to talk about the events that are going on in the world right now, especially in the United States right now. So over the past many days, I've watched many powerful and moving videos from YouTubers of all races, including many of my BookTube brothers and sisters, decrying racism in the wake of the horrific murder of George Floyd. I've watched videos about the persistent fear and anxiety that Black people carry every single day because of the color of their skin, the fear and isolation that they feel being the only Black person at work or on a team, of being passed up for promotions at work or other job opportunities or other opportunities in general that are freely given to white people. How they're always considered the suspect and never the victim, even when they've been victimized. How they're never given the benefit of the doubt and are followed around by store clerks as though they're criminals, and how even a routine encounter with a police officer could end up with their death, as has been the case over and over again. So while Floyd's death was certainly the catalyst for the surge of recent protests, it came after a steady drumbeat of shocking killings of Black people by police officers and white supremacists over the past few months. So I wasn't sure whether I should make this video, as I felt that what could I really add to all of the heartfelt and eloquently done videos that have already been posted. But after giving it some thought, I realized that to stay silent is to be complicit, and to do or say nothing really is not an option, and I should have spoken up sooner. Racism continues to exist, and because of this, change desperately needs to occur. But such change has called me to re-examine my own actions to see if they light up with what I believe and where my heart is. So, like many of you, I've always believed I'm a good person, and I certainly believe that I'm not racist. But if I'm not doing everything I can to change the never-ending arc of injustice toward Black people, then I might not be as good a person as I think I am. Because doing nothing to change systemic racism of our society and remaining silent is allowing said racism to continue. Black people should not be alone in the fight to take down this oppressive system which they did not create, and there is a lot of work for all of us to do. The current situation as it is today is unacceptable, and I feel that we all have a responsibility to drive change and ensure that our country, our cities, and our towns are ones where every individual feels a sense of belonging, inclusion, and most importantly, feels safe. I believe that everyone deserves respect and equal treatment, and we all need to stand with the Black community against hate, intolerance, and racism. The events over the past few weeks have been a stark reminder of the insensitivity and silence that has persisted far too long in this and other countries. Right now, the United States is confronting the murder of George Floyd at the hands of Minneapolis police officers. But someone pointed out recently on social media, I think, that George Floyd wasn't murdered because he was Black. He was murdered because of white supremacy, and we actually all need to call it what it is. This horrific tragedy, as well as the murders of numerous unarmed Black people by police and white supremacists, have created a worldwide uprising crying out for racial justice and the protection of Black lives. So right now, in the midst of these protests, people are feeling powerful. People are finally feeling empowered. And this is the moment. I think that The time is now that the window is open and we finally have an opportunity to break down some of those walls. Because when people take to the street and organize politically and socially, that's when things change. Across this nation, even in countries other than the US, people have given voice to the pain and damage that police brutality and racism in our society has caused, and it's time for America to listen. In order to move forward, though, we have to support, value, and honor the contributions Black people have made in this country for centuries. So what this means is that we don't make a loud vocal stand against systemic racism for a week or two, making videos about it and shouting from the rooftops, and then return back to our normally scheduled programs. No, 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 no. We need to persist to continue with this until true change occurs. This culture of corruption has gone unchecked for far too long, and it's time to put an end to it. I read an article a while back where the author stated that until the killing of a Black mother's son becomes as important to the rest of the country as the killing of a white mother's son, then we, those of us who supposedly believe in freedom, cannot rest. My work here isn't finished when I upload this video and feel good about publicly saying that change needs to happen. It finishes when there's actual and real change that brings full equality. And until then, there is much work to do. So the question is, what can we do? Where do we start? How can we even begin to fix this? Well, now, as I've seen in videos and as many other people have stated, the first step is in educating ourselves, and this is a biggie. So Katie Couric, a journalist who put up a list of resources, including books, articles, podcasts, movie recommendations, even Netflix shows that can help educate us and help us to understand the racism in our community. And this list even includes some kid-friendly resources as well that you can share with your children. But educating ourselves allows us to understand what's really going on, causing us to reflect on our own attitudes and perhaps leading to difficult conversations with family and friends. We can also speak up, and I hate to admit it, but as a white person, I've been guilty of staying silent in the past when people I know and love have made uncomfortable, borderline racist comments or what seemed to be a harmless joke. But I think we need to realize that words and actions have consequences, whether they were intended to bring about harm or not. And again, this can lead to many of us needing to have uncomfortable and difficult conversations, but necessary conversations. We cannot let this shit slide anymore. It's slid far too long. And I've personally blocked family members on social media who are inclined to spew racist garbage. Some people simply cannot be reasoned with. What else can we do? Vote. In order to bring out change, we need to participate in the electoral process in our communities and countries. And what this means is educating yourselves about the candidates and voting for diverse, compassionate, and fair people. Hell, why not run for office yourself? Change can even begin by getting elected at your local school board. Which kind of brings me to my next point is getting involved in every way possible. Giving your time and energy to local communities. And this is where change can actually begin to happen. Change never begins from the top down, but rather through local communities standing up for each other and with people getting involved with their local community, with social and political organizations. And this is how we can instill the first seeds of change. Also, as members of the BookTube community, this is a huge deal for us, and I think that we need to support our Black booktubers now more than ever before. We can also buy from Black-owned businesses, and this is just a small way to give Black communities recognition for the ideas and products that originated with them. It also can help to distribute some of that wealth back to Black communities that don't receive the same funding and opportunities as white-owned businesses due to that systemic racism. We can also volunteer with Black-led organizations. For instance, the Black Lives Matter organization has local chapters all across the country where you can inquire about volunteer opportunities. And if you can afford to, give money to those organizations that fight racism, inequality, and oppression. And I'll put a few resources down below that you can check out if you so choose. Oh, and also I'll put down the list of Katie Couric's resources on books, movies, podcasts, and the like that you can check out to further educate ourselves. And of course, being a booktuber, I have to add, read diverse books. Support our Black authors and discuss and promote their books. Shout their praises from the rooftops. And we need to read Black authors more often than once a year during Black History Month in February. I typically try to read as many books as possible each month by authors of color, and some months I succeed, others not so much, and it just means I need to try harder and do better. But yeah, we can read books, watch films, listen to podcasts, and observe art about racism and police brutality. And we don't need to ask our Black friends to educate us about this stuff because Black people are already actively contributing to the conversation all the time by writing books, making films, producing podcasts, and creating other forms of art to expose the racism and solutions to end it. So again, check those Katie Couric links out below for some excellent resources. So let me close by saying that I am willing to continue to educate myself about anti-racism. I'm willing to donate where and when I can, and I'm willing to shut up and listen, especially if I screw up. I'm willing to support my fellow Black booktubers and the Black community in any ways I can. And I'm willing to have more of those uncomfortable conversations and be more adamant about not letting any sort of racist shit fly whatsoever. So I guess I'll leave it at that. I know my platform here is small. I don't have a very large channel, but I felt regardless that it was important to make this video. And if it helps even one person or causes someone to think and perhaps reevaluate their actions or their beliefs, then it was worth it. So I guess that's a wrap. I will talk to you all in the next video. Roger and out.